Hey guys, so I wanted to do a quick comparison here between LG Q6 and the LG G6 phones. A few people were asking me to compare the two handsets here because they are quite similar in terms of the build quality, but I think they do have some differences that you need to be aware of if you're looking at these two handsets. So we can just start off at the same time here and go over what the main differences are between them. We can also have a quick look at the performance of the Q6 phone. Starting up already, you can see there's a difference in terms of the boot up. The Q6 has a more up-to-date boot up kind of screen. I think the G6 will boot on faster, as you can see. But you can see the Q6 actually has quite a good performance, I have found, given that it's using a more entry-level specification. So let's just have a quick look at the devices side by side here in terms of the software. You can see they're both using the LG UI, so that is the like fluffy kind of UI, nugget based. Some people did mention that the Q6 is actually running a more up-to-date version of Android Nougat here. So you can see if we go into the settings, Android 7.1.1, whereas with your more high-end G6 you are actually getting out-of-date software, which is quite interesting because usually LG is quite good when it comes to putting a new version of Android on, but they're not very good when it comes to actually updating it. In terms of the actual features, etc., you'll notice that we do get the always-on display on the G6, but when you turn this one off, you can see you don't get that facility. That could be a deal breaker for some people because it is quite useful to get notifications, etc. on the front, unless there's a way to turn it on with the Q6. I have had a quick look around the settings, but I couldn't see it. And another thing that you'll notice as well is that you don't get a fingerprint scanner like you do on the G6 with the Q6. You can see we have a power button on the side here, which is annoying for those who like their payments, etc., to be done on the phone because it needs biometric security to set up. So those are some of the main differences I have found with the two. There's also probably some other things as well, like no quad DAC, which you do get in some G6 models. There's also no dual camera, which you won't find on the back of the Q6. You do get a wide angle lens camera on the G6, which is fantastic obviously for those big shots. You do also get a slightly different like arrangement of the speaker here. You can see we have a speaker on the back with the Q6 versus on the side here with the G6. So not the best place, I don't think, when it comes to your speaker arrangement. I think they've done quite well to make the same kind of display here though in terms of the aspect ratio, but some people say they don't like this because it makes the apps, etc., look weird. Personally, I don't mind it. I think it makes it look pretty awesome when you're opening stuff up. You can just quickly have a look here at the performance between the two. You can see the entry-level processor actually does push along the Android quite nicely. I think if you are going to be pushing it quite hard with lots of games, etc., you're probably going to notice more of a difference overall, but for your basic tasks it seems to be more than up to par. I think it comes with 3 gigs of RAM, so that's something quite useful for future-proofing. Which I think generally most people probably won't be buying this as a heavy kind of gaming device. We're probably just buying it as a solid phone to use, really. So I can't really fault the actual day-to-day performance overall. I will be comparing it with some comparable handsets of the same kind of category in terms of like Nokia 6, etc., as well as what Sony's offering. So do stay tuned for that. But just a quick little comparison here between the Q6 and the LG G6. I think there's also a Q8 as well, but that's also based upon the V20, but on a smaller form factor, so probably worth looking out for that because it comes with waterproofing and a dual display, but on a small kind of level here. This one actually does come with waterproofing as well, which is quite good. Let me put that in. So yeah, just a quick comparison here, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.